Today we're spectating a top 5 Thing player after the season 2.5 update to see what they do better and how we can improve together. So we have our player here, Not Rambo, and we're going to be seeing how he plays the Thing. Now, I have a pretty decent amount of playtime on the Thing and pretty much most of the tanks in this game. So I'd like to see if he's viable within this new season 2.5 because I'll be honest, I'm not seeing a lot of the Thing anymore. This guy's sprinting in the air, mid-air sprint, by the way. And I think that's because he had the rocket jetpack, right? So he was able to kind of do the dash in mid-air. Pushing up nice and early, nice and forward where the Thing should be. Right in the front line, brawling. And brawling with an Emma Frost with a Thing is actually a really good play. Because you can literally go through all of her shields. And the only way to kill an Emma Frost in diamond form is by dealing maximum amount of damage, right? He manages to get a respawn. He's also got the team up with his Wolverine as well, so that's quite handy for taking out certain tanks. But unfortunately, both of the tanks in the enemy team right now are CC immune because there's a Thing and an Emma Frost. Back in the fight now after dying, going to get taken out by this Emma Frost ultimate, unfortunately, man. So definitely putting in the work in the front line. Using the dash to escape instead of using the dash to kind of run into the enemy team. Obviously, there's not a lot of divers in the enemy team, to be honest, so he's not really having to slow down the movement of very many players here because a lot of the players in the enemy team are very frontline players. Mr. Fantastic, Cloak and Dagger. We've got our own teammates Emma Frost ultimate going on now. We might be able to take out this Thing. Does do that. Always using the Haymaker punch. Doesn't really use the standard melee very often. And I quite like using the standard melee, to be honest. I know the Haymaker punch has a bit more range on it. Trying to initiate the throw with the Wolverine here. Does get that. Might use it once the doors open. Or he's going to try and aim that in there. Jumping in off the back of that. Not really used his jump ability very much. We've got an ultimate going with the Scarlet Witch. Goes behind cover here. Jumps straight back into the fight. Standing inside the Cloak and Dagger ultimate, unfortunately. Manages to avoid the enemy. So the only issue with this guy is he's not really using his jump ability very much to escape fights. The shield ability, essentially. I don't really know what it's called. But it's the one that allows him to kind of leap to his teammates. And I think he should be using that a lot more often, right? He uses it here, but waiting for his team now to push up. He's trying to initiate the throw once again with his Wolverine. The Wolverine likes getting thrown, and then he uses the jump off the back of that, which is one of the better ways to do it. It's one of the only ways to get the Thing some pretty quick movement. So throw the Wolverine, dash at him, or just dash at one of your teammates that are already kind of diving the backline there. Uses his slam right there. Needs to stay behind cover so he doesn't die to the Scarlet Witch ultimate, which he does do well. Frontlining like a champ here, obviously, as you should be with the Thing. And then knocking the enemies up. Trying to single out the Loki. Uses his ultimate here. Perfect timing there. Doesn't get any finishes, unfortunately, but does get an assist with his teammate. I think he should be using his jumps a lot more in between this, just to kind of make himself a bit harder to hit. Dashes the enemies up into the air this time once again. Pushing really well with his teammates here, actually. We've got a Spider-Man in our team as well. Trying to 1v1 the other enemy Thing right here as well. Could probably get him out if he uses the other attack. Sometimes you need to use the regular fire because it just moves a little bit faster. Instead of having to keep charging up, sometimes you miss that attack and it's not really worth it. Even though it does do more damage, and I understand it gives you the overshields and keeps you alive a little bit longer, but sometimes you just need to do the faster attack, right? Get it off, get the finish. Can again dash to his Wolverine here, which he doesn't do. I just feel like he should be a bit more frontliney, and then he can use his dash to get in, and then another one to get back out, right, if he needs to. But he's playing really, really conservative here. I'm not really too sure why. His teammates are all back anyway. Spider-Man's there. Spider-Man gets an ult off. He finishes that. Gets his ultimate off as well. Can get a dash in here to keep himself alive. He gives himself overshield too. Or a shield in general. Good push by his teammates there, but I feel like he should be dashing a lot more often, if I'm being honest with you. When I say dash, is the L1 ability that he has where he kind of jumps on top of teammates and gives that kind of extra shield protection. Especially since his Wolverine's like diving constantly and he's got a Spider-Man as well, right? So they're running a very dive heavy team and he could just basically be diving with his team here. Especially since he's got an Emma Frost on his team. And Emma Frost can easily hold that front line by herself if she's decent. Can take her out here. Probably doesn't get caught up in the ultimate, which is good. Use the standard punches here instead of constantly. Yep, fantastic. Sometimes you just need the faster attack, right? And it's going to get you the finish a little bit quicker. So waiting on the enemy team here. Initiates a throw with his Wolverine, but he doesn't do it. I feel like as a Wolverine player, you should kind of always be waiting for that initiation because the extra Feral Leap definitely helps out a ton, right, towards your kit. And it's like almost a constant thing you can have. Try to get behind cover from the Scarlet Witch ultimate. Doesn't die somehow. Maybe it was out of range. He's got his ultimate ready to go when he needs it. I don't think he's going to use it yet until his teammates are back to take advantage fully of his ultimate. No point in wasting it right now. Try to help out his Wolverine there, but unfortunately Wolverine goes down. Back with his team now, regrouped at this point. Pushing back up with his tank now at this point. Granting the overshields. When he does use the dash, they almost win the fight always. Perfect ultimate here. Stuns so many enemies, man. He lined up a lot of enemies in that ultimate. It was about at least 3. And in my opinion, anything 2 and above is fantastic, especially in such a high level game. If you can line up 2 enemies in your thing ultimate, you should go for it, right? Because if you get those 2 finishes, you get them out the game, that is putting the enemy team at a severe disadvantage. You don't want to solo ultimate one player unless they're really needing it. And trying to wait for the perfect lineup is not always going to happen, right? Now he's dashing in and off the back of his Wolverine again. And he's got Spider-Man with him as well, so this is a really solid dive right here. Got that elimination. Not going to get this elimination, unfortunately, but it's okay. Now that we're halfway through this video, if you are enjoying it, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we're trying to reach our goal of 20k subscribers by the end of this year, man. And I feel like it's a tough goal, but I really want to get there. Now, right now, when it comes to spectating, this meta of the flying heroes is just not enjoyable. And that's why I like spectating some of the non-meta heroes in the game right now, because I just want to see if they're still usable. And from the looks of this gameplay, we can still use the thing if you ban the correct players. But let's get straight back into it. On the defending side now, and as you can see, our guy Rambo is just punching absolutely everything, man. He could have leaped off the back of this Wolverine, but he chooses not to do that, which I find a bit crazy sometimes, where I would have used it to kind of help the Wolverine get the finish there. But regardless, we've got a Punisher dealing so much damage with his turret right now, sitting on top of the payload. Trying to deal as much damage as possible, getting healed up, but we're going to get absolutely wrecked here. And that is just a bit unfortunate. Punisher against the thing is such a good counter, by the way. Punisher has his ultimate at the moment, so we need to be careful here. And there's a cloak and dagger ultimate going on at the exact same time. So we could fight him here, and he's going to get healed up, obviously, on his way back out. As you can see, he's trying to deal a bit of damage. And our guy's running off because he realizes he's going to die. And we're waiting to regroup with our teammates at the moment. Again, just dealing a bit of damage here. He could really push up. As soon as one of his players dives in, he should be kind of jumping in there, in my opinion. But he's playing his haymakers. And again, in my opinion, he's missing a little bit of the tech out here, where he should be kind of diving a lot more, because he will have it replenished by time. Enemy team managed to cap the point here, unfortunately. And again, we're waiting. Just dropping back a bit to give the enemy team a bit more space to regroup and get the better angles on the map to fight with. Like, you want to be fighting this corner of the map, because this part of the map where our Emma Frost is, you pretty much kind of die almost instantly. You need to have that little bit of extra cover, and that's how you win kind of fights if you know the maps very well. Pushing up off the back of our rocket ultimate here. The damage boost in the rocket ultimate is crazy, by the way. Punching this gets out the cloak and dagger. Try to take out the Loki clones and doing a good job of pushing the enemy team back here now. We've got an enemy player there fighting with our rocket, which was the Loki, but he managed to get taken out anyway. And like I said, he could be using his dashes a little bit more often, in my opinion. Just to kind of give his teammates a little bit extra shield. And also just make his movement a bit more unpredictable, right? The Spider-Man manages to counter the Scarlet Witch ultimate by using his own ultimate, which is crazy. But he gets taken out, unfortunately. Again, lines up really good ultimates here. Waiting for the better angle again. Scarlet Witch is kind of like playing like a dive. He could easily have jumped on his teammate there just to kind of help him out, but I don't know what's going on with this guy. He doesn't like using the dashes, clearly. Doing his haymakers constantly. He's going to probably get taken out here, absolutely, because there's too many ultimates going on. Needs to use his dash into the enemy team. Exactly. Right, that was an absolute necessary one. He needed to knock up as many enemies as possible at that point. We've got the Scarlet Witch going for ultimate again. Again, give up a lot of space here, obviously, to try and fight at the perfect angles. We've got an Emma Frost trying to dive our backline. So he managed to take them out anyway. Winter Soldier goes down, though. So that's a bit of a crazy dive from that Emma Frost right there. Or a flank, if you want to call it that. He's probably going to get another really good ultimate lineup at some point here, because this angle is just perfect for it. And he's got his ultimate ready as well. He probably could have comboed his slam with... Well, he does it anyway there. And he's animation cancelling the ultimate from the looks of it, as like we never see him do the actual slam down. So I don't know how he's doing that. I don't know if the animation cancels when you use your secondary attack. Please leave it in the comments, by the way, if that happens. I'm not sure. But I do play a lot of thing and I've never seemed to animation cancel my ultimate. So I wonder if that's just the way the spectating view is working, or if it's something you can actually do in game. If it is something you can do, I definitely want to learn that. Going to push up with our team here. Trying to kill that Emma Frost, but we don't. Get the rocket damage boost. Taking out the Loki lamps as we need to. And then pushing up on this Emma Frost. We've got a Scarlet Witch ultimate going off there, which gets cancelled again, man. That Scarlet Witch has never got the ultimate off. Slams the ground here. And we're trying to take out the Mr. Fantastic in the enemy team, which we do. Get a couple of picks here, and the enemy team's kind of retreating slightly. We've got our Magneto there. We can push up with our Winter Soldier. We can give him the overshields to keep him alive, but we don't do that. Or the little bit of extra shields that you do give as the thing. I feel like you need to utilize that a little bit more often, because with the amount of time he's using his haymakers, right, he could have thrown in a dash in there, made himself a bit more unpredictable like he just did there, and then also help himself out, right, help his teammates out at the same time. So he needs to be using it a little bit more often, because he's got two of them to use. And with the amount of time he's staying inside the fight, because obviously surviving a lot longer, I think he would have it replenished back anyway by time he's ready to think about using it again, right? Because I feel like he's saving it a little bit too much, and I'd be using it a little bit more than he's using it. Personally, that's just me anyway, though. When he has used it, he used it pretty well, though, so I do want to mention that. Dashing out of the way of the Emma Frost ultimate, but that is because he's CC immune during that time. Dashes back to his teammates. He's got his ult ready to go if he gets healed up a little bit. Ready to get back into the fight now. He's full HP. Slams down the ground. Uses his ultimate probably at some time right now. Expected that. Primary attack. Probably get the finish. Try to jump and attack the Punisher here. Punisher escapes with his zip line, but he's done his job to get the Punisher out of the way here. Emma Frost gets healed up, unfortunately. We can push up with our Luna Snow as we're getting the healing bonus right now. The enemy team's getting healed up by their Cloak and Dagger ult as well. Taking out the Loki lamps, which we need to do. Probably could take out Loki here. Uses his shields or his dash a lot more now, which is good to see, by the way. And he's got his ultimate again, man. Built up a lot of ultimate charge. Dashes into the enemy team right now. Trying to get to the point a little bit quicker here because we need to stop the enemy team at this point. Another good ultimate lineup, man. One thing I'll give this guy is that he lines up his ultimates really, really well and manages to hit more than one person. That's our player, Not Ramble, who goes 43 and 10, which is pretty impressive. Not playing as a shield tank means you're going to die a little bit more regularly than usual, and that's just because you're going to be in the front line pretty much 90% of the time, which the thing is always going to be. And then he's dealt 30k damage and blocked 55k damage. Now, to be fair, he's probably blocked like all of that damage with his head, but regardless, he has blocked the damage anyway. And it's a pretty solid game. You can still play the thing if you ban a couple of flying heroes. I think he's a solid choice even still. Probably not super meta or anything, but definitely worth playing still. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, don't forget to subscribe, and thank you very much for watching.